All right, I'm out of the house. My first appointment was at 9 o'clock in Montebello. It's 8:43. Took me about 10 minutes just to get out of the house. Such a complicated guy, man. So complicated. The reason why we're held back from doing what we want to do is because of what people think about what we do. Hey, you want to grow your YouTube channel? You want to grow your Instagram? We'll want you to document the journey. It's 9:56 and I'm officially in beautiful Montebello. Already met with my 9 o'clock. Now I'm on my way to the city of Cerritos. I've got I have another meeting in Cerritos. Wow, that was a very, very close one. That was a very close call. I'm on my way to Cerritos. So far, so good. Right. Second appointment done. Man, do I feel good or do I feel good? I'm on my way to Santa Ana now. I'm going to meet with the top, if not one of the top real estate offices in Santa Ana, where one of my really good friends owns that office. Stopping by, saying hello. Then I look forward to coming back to Downey and or Long Beach. Long Beach, dropping off a closing gift for a client. Downey to visit a business partner. So I came by to visit some friends over in Santa Ana. Man, check out this place. It is amazing.
On paper, we're ready to close this week, right?
$3:47. I'm leaving Santa Ana and I'm on my way to, where am I going? Know where I'm going. Inglewood. Inglewood's up to no good. Inglewood. As I was over here, I stopped by GNC and I grabbed myself a 12-pack of 3D. Shout out to my boy Christian Guzman. Really good stuff, man. So check this out. It is what? It's literally 5:58 p.m. I'm in the valley and look at how it looks in the valley. Look where I'm coming from. Look at how it looks over there. Ain't that something else? Ain't that unbelievable? All right. So today's vlog, I'm going to share with you guys how it came about that I became a loan officer, or how the mortgage business chose me, or how I chose the mortgage business. Where do I start? So as I was growing up, I would go to work with my parents on a daily basis. At that time, we didn't have a babysitter. I would go to work with my parents, right? From what I can remember, I was 5 years old. I would enjoy going to work. Until one day, I think I was like in first grade or second grade, right? This was for like summer break. There's this guy, it was a customer that would always come to my parents' lunch truck and he would consume off of them, right? He would get his lunch. One day he said, I think it was to my dad, he says, Juan, why do you bring your kids to work? He should be in the beach right now. He should be rollerblading, just like my kids. My kids don't come to work. My kids are in the beach right now. They're rollerblading. They're having fun. Do the same with your kid. And ever since then, some just stuck to me. Where like every summer, I pictured myself being in the beach, and I should have been rollerblading, etc. And ever since then, like I remember, I didn't like to go to work during my summer vacation, because what did I do during my summer vacation? And go to work. So I didn't like that. As I was growing up, I was told myself that I didn't want to do that, and I don't want to put my kids through that. So I still went to work every summer. As I would go to work with my parents in the lunch truck, I would sit in the passenger side, or on the passenger seat, right? I would look from my mom's side, from the driver's side, or from my left side, right? I look to, in this case, my right, and I'd look at the incoming cars. And I would always see these nice cars, right, with these men inside of them. For the most part, at least that's what I remember. I'm sure there was women driving them, but I wouldn't pay attention to that, right? I would see these very nice cars, right? BMWs, Mercedes, S500s, right? And I would see these men of Porsches. I would see these men dressed up, nicely clean shaven, looked very, very fresh. They looked good, like they took pride in how they were going to work, right? Nice big car, clean man inside of it with a nice crispy clean white shirt, a tie, nicely done hair, nicely shaven. And I'm gonna say that they were on their way to work. I don't know what the hell they did for a living, because I was never able to ask them, right? Because they were driving. But I always told myself that was gonna be me when I grew up. I'm gonna say I used to think they had an office job. I always told myself, remember, that's gonna be me. I'm gonna dress like that man. I'm gonna drive a car like that man. And I'm gonna go to work. I'm gonna be working in an office. As I was saying that, I would process that thought, and then I would look down on my feet, then I would look towards the back, look at the cook, then look at my mom or my dad, whoever was driving the lunch truck at the time. And I'd always told myself that I was not gonna do that. Fast forward, when I was 13, 12, yeah, I think like I was like in 6th grade. I had my first job. I was delivery boy for a fruit stand in the swap meet. Great job. Used to make some really good money. There was in some occasions where I would make, gosh, upwards of $100 in one day, just in tips. And that during the summertime, that would just get me like really, really dark, and it would be like a very bad tan, because I'd be dark from here down, and then when I would take off my shirt, it'd be all white. I've never been afraid to work, never been afraid to do the work, never. Actually, I'm a big fan of doing the work, not a fan of getting anything easy. I don't like easy things. I'm a big fan of putting in the work, working hard. Fast forward, when I was finally in a position to get my first job, my first real legit job, I was 18 years old, like 19 years old. I was in a position to finally get my legit job, a good job, a real job. Mind you, I'd grown up telling myself and saying I was never gonna drive a lunch truck. That's something that I hated, didn't want to do it. My parents did that all their life. Yes, they made a decent living, but that's not something I wanted to do because of the lifestyle and what came with it. Well, at 19, that was my first job. At 19 years old, I was driving these huge lunch trucks. You know, there's a saying in Spanish that says, "Cae más pronto un hablador que un coco." So what that means in English is, I don't know. I don't think I can translate it. I think so. There's a saying in English goes, a talker will fall faster than a coconut would fall from a coconut tree. If that makes sense. I don't think it makes any sense. It probably doesn't sound good. So that's exactly what happened to me. Which is why there's a saying, I guess to follow up on that saying, never say you're never going to do something, right? At least there's a saying in Spanish that goes a little like that. 18, 19 years old, I was driving a lunch truck. I liked it, actually. I enjoyed that work. I was very happy. It paid well. I was 19 years old, making about, I don't know, 500 bucks. It was all sales, right? I'd sell food. I'd have to manage. Driving a lunch truck, this was something I didn't want to do. I finally was presented with an opportunity to do that. I took it, was very happy. I enjoyed going to work. I stopped doing a lot of the things I liked to do, like going to the gym, like going out, only because it was a job that would take away from you, right? Like I'd have to wake up at 2 in the morning, 1 in the morning, 3 in the morning, and do that Monday through Friday. In some occasions, I'd go to work on Saturday. It was just a very demanding, very tiring job, which is why I didn't want to do it. But that opportunity came by, so I took it. I did that for, I don't know, gosh, a year or two. But during that time, I was still going to the gym on and off. And as I would go to the gym, mind you, I'd been going to the gym all my early life. And as I would go to the gym, I mean, I've always been very friendly, very talkative, right? So I made a lot of friends. And throughout those many friends, one of my really good friends, by the name of Nancy, one day when we first met, she says, Juan, you know, you'd be really good at selling real estate. Shit, I don't know what that meant. I don't know what that was. And I'm like, okay, yeah, well, thank you. I'll take that as a compliment. She told me that once. She told me that twice. She told me that 3 times. My mom refinanced her house then, right? Right around the same time that Nancy had told me that, or since right around the last time that Nancy told me that I'd be good at what she used to do. I remember the gentleman that helped her refinance her house came to our house and brought a bucket of ice cream when my mom closed her home loan, or when she was signing her set of docs. And the gentleman was a very nice gentleman, very nicely dressed, nice personality, was driving a nice car, dressed very nice. I like that. Nancy tells me a month later, hey, you know what? I'm looking for someone to help me. I'm looking for an assistant. And I think you'd be really good. I've told you before, but you've not taken me serious. I really think you should consider it. At the time, I was driving the lunch truck. Oh, and I had started a job at In-N-Out. I remember that. So I had 2 jobs going on at the same time, right? They were both in the catering business. I was happy, but I wasn't, right? I was happy, but it wasn't ultimately the job that I was going to be doing for the rest of my life. I asked Nancy at that time, well, tell me a little bit more, right? And she says, well, you're going to be inside of an office. You're going to be helping me process the paperwork. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, I didn't ask her how much she was going to pay me or anything like that. I did ask her if it was going to be inside of an office. She said yes. I think I started part-time. So I started to help her part-time. I liked the job. I did that 1 week. I liked it. Put in my 2-week notice on a lunch truck job. My In-N-Out job, well, they fired me from my In-N-Out job. After doing it for 1 week, she gave me, I believe it was like a full-time job at that point, right? She gave me more hours. I was making, gosh, I don't know, $150 a week, more or less. I liked it. I liked helping her. I liked assisting her. She was a loan officer. I liked what she did. I then said, well, what do I have to do to do what you're doing? She said, well, at that time, there was a test that you'd have to pass. That was a real estate test. You'd be able to take that real estate test, and then you'd be able to do loans. Actually, at that time, you'd be able to do both. I never did that. I only did loans. I said, okay, and so where do I sign up? Long story short, I helped her 6 months. In 6 months, I studied, and I passed my real estate exam. Once I passed it, I believe it was December 2nd, 2006. In 2007, I went on my own. I had no book of business. I knew nobody in the real estate business. I had no relationships. Nothing. I knew nothing about the business. I was new. Whatever I knew was what I learned during the 6 months of helping Nancy. And by the way, Nancy, shout outs to you. You changed my life. You are my angel. The rest is history. The rest is history. I do believe in God sends you people in your life, and Nancy was one of those people that was sent by God, and I tell her that I'm indebted to her. Like, I owe her everything I know. Like, I owe her everything. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be talking to you guys. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have been introduced to Andrew. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have been introduced to Anthony. Andrew and Anthony taught me next level stuff in the mortgage business. Nancy changed my life. Andrew and Anthony mentored me, taught me essentially what I know. I accredit a lot of my success to Anthony and Andrew. When I first got into the business, they told me, Juan, focus on the purchase market. Focus on building relationships with real estate agents or with sources that will connect you to people that want to get home loans, especially people that want to buy houses. And I asked why. They said, people will always be buying. People will not always be refinancing. The refinance market is very cyclical. The purchase market is a forever thing. People will always buy. In a nutshell, that's how I got into the mortgage business. Nancy, if you're watching this, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for believing in me. You changed my life. And Anthony and Andrew, both of you also changed my life. And I probably wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. Nancy, Andrew, and Anthony, I feel that I will forever be indebted to you guys. Thank you so much.